Good morning. It's morning here anyway. Welcome to Change Live Matter. You know, I've been working on this RV, putting this thing together, and I'm making myself a log cabin out of an RV. So I'm just going to take you step by step how I prepare the logs. So hang in there with me. In fact, you probably could come over here and give me a little help. Just kidding. These are my logs. These are what I will use for my logs for my RV. And I'm going to show you how I make these. So stay tuned. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make these logs. I can get about 6. This comes in a 4x8 sheet. I got it from Lowe's for about $19. You can get about 6 of these, 8 inches wide. Now these I made for the pickup truck, and they're only 6 inches wide. So you can get 8 6-inch, but that's not important. We're going to get 6 pieces off of a 4x8 sheet, and I've already cut this sheet down some, so we're only going to get 3 out of here. But for right now, I'm going to show you how to make these things from start to finish, and how they will be durable and how they will last through different weather conditions such as hail and rain and snow and things like that. So here's what you do. I'm going to want 8-inch pieces. So I'm going to take my tape measure, and I'm going to measure 8, 16, that's 24, that's going to give me 3 pieces. Do the same over here. 8, 16, 24. And then we're going to put this here, get us a nice straight line. And this will be our first piece. All right. Get you a nice sharp blade in your carpet knife. And then just take it right down that line. Follow that line. Doesn't have to be straight and perfect because it is a log, and I've never seen a perfect log before. And we're going to make it imperfect anyway, so you'll see it. And we'll just go down and we'll cut this thing on this line best we can. Do it like that, and then we'll pop it like that. Okay? That's your first step. Now let's go to the shop and let's do some work on this piece. Okay, here we are in Billy's shop, and we're going to cut this piece up and try to make it look as close to a log as we possibly can. So what we need to do is we need to round off these edges. This is 1 inch thick, so I want to round them off to kind of give the round look. So what you do is you take a nice, this is my sharp knife I found at the Valley Thrift Store for 50 cents, and I got it nice and sharp. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're just going to cut here, put a little edge on here, and we're going to do it on both sides. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it's straight, if it's wobbly or wiggly or wambly or whatever you want to call it. We take these 2 pieces and put them in the garbage can there. That makes the wife happy. Keeps everything out from not being cluttered. And then we're going to go one more time, and we're going to go right here. Can you zoom in on that or not, honey? And we're going to zoom in on it. Now, it doesn't matter if it's all rough and ugly looking, because that's what logs are. When you're whittling with them and you're trying to, you want them to look rough and natural and, you know, like they were done. So that's what you do. You see how this is kind of like coming out real nice and has dips in it. And it just looks like I cut it right out of the woods, doesn't it? And so we're going to do this. And then, now that we've got that, so you can see it kind of gives you a round edge on there. So it looks pretty natural. It will when it's on. I'll show you what it looks like on the vehicle when we go out to put them on. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take my chisel and I'm just going to mark it up a little bit, like, you know, like I'm kind of rounding it off and getting the bark off. So it's going to look like it's been you know, cleaned up a little bit. All right, so I got those on there. Now what I'll do, I want to give it the crack look like an aged wood. So I want it to look like it's got some cracks in it. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to mark something natural, not something unified. And then I'll do that. And then I want to put a little few scuffs in it, like I kind of had a hard time with the saw or something. And I'll put these in here and come across there, and I'll go with that. Now, then what I do is I have attached this wire brush on the end of this gun, and I'm going to put some different marks in it to make it look like chainsaw marks or something like that. So I'm going to let it sink down in there some so it looks natural, okay? We're going to do that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this old pad. This thing's really pad. I'm going to get all these little chips off of here. Watch this. See that? So that'll take all the loose chips off of it. Now I want it to have kind of like a wormwood look. I love the wormwood look. I just love that look. So I have a soldering gun. So I'll take this soldering gun right here, and then we'll just go ahead and put some marks in it, make it look like some worms are getting in it. So I'm going to get it fired up here, get it nice and hot. Yeah, put a little hole in it, make it look like they bore a little hole in here. There it goes, starting to melt. Get down in there, there it is, getting nice and hot. And then we're going to like just give it that worm look, like they're making their way through the wood. And I'm going to stop it here, and then I'll probably do a little piece here. And maybe some here. You get the point, okay? So then we'll do that. Now, what I want to do to open this all up, and I want to harden this. I want to harden it. Right now, I can put my fingernail in it, so it's not hard. So what we're going to do is harden it up, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You can get you a heat gun. I got this one from Craftsman, but you can get a heat gun at Harbor Freight for $10, $15, and you can take and we're going to harden this. So here's what we do. I missed a few pieces there. Okay, turn it on hot. This is 1400 degrees, so it's gonna melt it. And I'll show you, get closer to the thing. I'll show you what we're gonna do here. Okay. Now watch what this does to this. See how that's melting it? That melts that, and it opens it up. And I'll go and I'll do the whole length of this. Watch what happens to the wormwood look whenever I put the heat to it. See how it opens up? How everything starts looking natural? Now it's starting to look like a log, isn't it? Yeah, we're about ready to go now. Let me finish this little piece right here. You can see it melting. Now while it's melting, what it's doing is it's turning really hard, almost like a shell, turning into type of a shell. That's what you want if you're going to be outside in exterior conditions, and it makes it more like a piece of wood. So we want that nice and hard. Even if you were using this on the inside of your house, you would kind of want it hard just to keep kids from, or anybody banging into it and putting nicks in it. Once this is hardened off like this, it's very difficult to put nicks and things like that in it. But see how those marks are all defining themselves, and they're becoming of age, and they're just looking really nice. Okay, so that's that. Now let me get the paint mixed up, and I'll come back and show you how we're going to do that. Comes the fun part if you're a painter. You want to get your paint and your colors. You can determine whatever colors you want. Wood comes in many different colors. I have chosen the dark brown look, and what I want to do is I want this dark brown to get down in these cracks and crevices, because they're going to show. So I'm going to put this dark brown in here and get it down in here really good with this pretty tough brush that I bought for 50 cents at Harbor Freight. I love that store. Harbor Freight's awesome. You haven't been to Harbor Freight, you ain't lived. You're not a mechanic, or you don't do work, I'll tell you that. You ain't been to Harbor Freight, you ain't been to no tool store. They got everything. I love that place. And I can really have a good time in that place whenever I'm not with my wife. Boy, she don't like me going there. I spend a lot of money in that place. But anyway, you get it down in the cracks and crevices. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this whole board here. I'm not going to bore you with all that. So we're going to do this, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to put the second coat on. We've let this dry for a couple hours. It doesn't have to completely dry, but I did use my heat gun to try to speed up the process a little bit, and it does help for hardening. You see how hard that is? And so that's what we want. But now we're going to go through, and I'm using 3 different colors. Now you're probably asking, or you might be wondering what kind of paint that I'm using. I'm using whatever paint that I found at the garage sale last year. Usually it's an exterior type paint that you would use on a house or something of that nature. Fence or whatever. I just happen to use this on my deck, so I like this color, and so we're going to use this as our second color. And you'll notice how that I'm going to leave the cracks and the crevices down in here. The real deep areas are going to stay the brown color, but this will be my next color. So here's what I'm going to do. I take this and I just run it real fast over it, and I just go back and forth, and I want to get a nice smooth look to it on the high spots. You see how the dark state, it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? It's starting to look like a log, isn't it? By golly, we'll have this here RV built in no time flat and be in a town near you soon. So that's my second coat. I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm going to put the third coat on, and this is a little bit a lighter beige color, if you will, and I'm going to rub it on my rub it periodically on this same sponge with that in it. I didn't wash it because I want the 2 colors to blend in and match. So I'm just going to put it on here and make it look like that, like such. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over this, and I just want it light. I just want it highlighted. I just want just a little bit. I'm not looking for a real big impression on this part. I just want it lightly like that, okay? And that takes care of that. All right, here's our finished product. Pretty nice, isn't it? It sure is heavy. We'll go out now here in a few minutes, and we'll start putting these things on the RV. Okay, we're back. Now we're gonna put these logs on this here RV. Kind of excited about this part. This is the fun part. But I gotta mark out where these lights go. So I'll put this up here and get it about where it needs to be. And I'll take off and put my little marks on here. And then I'll take it down and cut them out, and I'll come back and show you how we put it on. We're back. I'm going to start putting these logs up on the top, but I have some running lights that are up there, so I had to cut the spot out for the running lights, which you see right here. So the running lights will fit in there, and this will have caulk and sealer around it, and you won't see where the cuts are. But we are going to touch those up with paint so they won't be so obvious through the clear caulk. But anyway, I've cut those out. You can see I've got them all cut out down here. But the problem that I'm having now is that at the very top, it's not a flat piece. It kind of rounds. So I have to make the log round to go around it. So what I've done is I've cut this in 2 pieces. I've cut this log in 2 pieces. I'll show you how I did it. I went through here. You have to be real careful with these things now because it's really sharp. And so what I did is I cut a little notch in here, and then it just, oh gosh. Anyway, you got to be real careful because you can cut yourself. So now I've cut an angle on that thing, and then I put these together. Now see how I'm going to make this round around, get around there? Sounds like a song, doesn't it? I get around, round, round. And then we'll put it just like that, and I can bend it, and you won't even know that, you won't even know. You'll think that log was custom made for that place. So I'll be back with you on the next shot.